Hi, I'm Roy Smith. Welcome to my layout. I'd like to wish each of you a joyous and prosperous new year. In this video, we are going to take a brief look back at some of the things I did on my layout during 2016. With that in mind, here are 6 of the projects I worked on during this past year. 1. Scenery east of Green River. 2. Scenery west of Green River. 3. Operations. 4. Green River Town. 5. Peninsula Extension. And 6. Green River Passenger Station. We're going to discuss each of them briefly. First of all, number 1, the scenery east of Green River. This year I painted the scenery east of Green River using Woodland Scenic's earth tone pigments. For example, here's what White Mountain looked like before painting it. White Mountain is made from white styrofoam and spackling paste, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, it's called White Mountain because of the layers of white sediment stone it contains. And this is what White Mountain looks like now that I've painted it. I tried to make it look as much as possible like the actual mountain, which stretches from Green River to Rock Springs, Wyoming. Also, I tried to blend it as much as possible with the colors of the photographic backdrop. I still haven't planted any vegetation on White Mountain, but when I do, I'm hoping it will look something like this, with sagebrush and scruffy junipers. Now moving on to number 2, scenery west of Green River. My layout is based on the Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision, which stretches across southwestern Wyoming into northeastern Utah. I'm trying to capture the feel of the desert scenery in this area. This is what the area west of Green River looked like before I began to get serious about the scenery there during 2016. As you can see, I used a Woodland Scenic's 3% incline for Highway 374. And this is what that same area looks like now that I've made some progress on the scenery. As you might imagine, there won't be many trees on my layout, but there will be a lot of sagebrush. Note Green River here. This is what I hope the river and the banks of the river on my layout will look like when it's completed. And here's another view of that same area west of Green River from a different angle. In 2016, I also began to think seriously about operations. It's okay to just run trains around and around when little kids and other curious visitors come. But after that, a layout needs operations. Otherwise, it can become boring pretty quickly. So I began to study car, card, and waybill systems and JMRI operations. I even made a mock-up of the Micromark car, card, and waybill system just to experiment in anticipation of buying the real system soon. Notice that I plan to include a small photo of the cars on each card. Now here at Green River Yard, 2 SD40-2s are assembling a westbound train of tank cars as a brief example of the kind of operations that might occur on my layout. Another big project I undertook in 2016 was that of building structures and streets for Green River Town. Green River Town looked like this for a long time. In 2016, I began to do something about it. And this is what it looks like now. I used the fronts, and in some cases the sides, of DPM kits for this project. Now, number 5, Peninsula Extension. For a long time, I was frustrated with Evanston Yard, located to the right of the scenic divider. So I lengthened the peninsula by almost 18 inches and widened it by 3 inches. This allowed me to use a much wider radius track in the curve. You can see the footprint of the old track arrangement here. I was also able to modify the trackage in Evanston Yard. I now have more tracks and the track arrangement is much more interesting. I will be able to triple the number of industries to be served by the railroad here. And I'm adding a Y to the east end of the yard, which previously didn't exist. As you can see, I've begun to extend the scenic divider between Echo Canyon, Utah on the left of the scenic divider and Evanston, Wyoming on the right. And most recently, number 6, the Green River Passenger Station. My good friend David Rarig built the station for me, and I received it from him in the mail on December 23rd, just in time for Christmas. You may want to take a look at the unboxing video, which I uploaded to my channel that same day. This is what my mock-up of the station looked like before the permanent station arrived. I was so glad to be able to replace it. David had to compress the dimensions of the station to fit the space on my layout, but it still bears a striking resemblance to the prototype at Green River, Wyoming. I am planning to put together a separate video concerning the station and a return of passenger service to the Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision. With that in mind, I recently ordered a Kato P42 and a set of Kato passenger cars. It's in the mail and should arrive within a few days. These were some of the things I did on my layout in 2016. As always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you will click on the thumbs up button if you liked this video. I also hope you will subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And most of all, I hope you will post any comments you may have in the comments section below. Again, a Happy New Year to you. I will see you again soon.